3, 2, 1. Vamos. Rompiendo el podcast. Today, I met this guy through the power of social media. The one and only New York City Papi. Chef, talk for me, bro.
What's up, man? How you doing?
Just good, man. Living the life, living the New York City life. Tell me.
A tough life, New York City life, man.
So, you telling me offline that you came from work?
Yeah, I just got off. I was at Caoba. I was doing brunch today, and I just got off, and I came straight here to do this podcast with you. I'm honored to be here, and thank you for inviting me.
Okay.
My first podcast ever, but I talk a lot, so you have to tell me to shut up every now and then, you know?
It's alright. We're here to listen to you, my brother. Well, Savage. This guy's a savage, man. Works now, comes and joins me to, do this little gig, and I just wanted to get to know you, get to know who is actually, the man behind Chef Papi.
Well, actually, this whole Chef Papi thing is so like very new. Actually, I mean, I've always loved food. Like I've always like my dad had a restaurant when I was in junior high school. So it's like I'm talking probably 12 years old. I was already working there, like de preparador, pelando plátano and yuca and stuff, and sazonando carne, cleaning shrimp. I at a very young age I knew how to do a lot of stuff, and I liked the scene in the kitchen when we were in the basement. It was me and two of the guys, and whenever we had to go upstairs to bring something to the chefs that they needed, they were ellos iban atrás y voceaban, hey, necesito, whatever.
So you was just a helper.
I would just run the stuff upstairs, and I would see how busy it was in the kitchen, and everybody cursing at each other, and taking the food out and pushing the food out, and I used to love it. Y poco a poco, every time that I would go up there, I would stay there a few minutes, try to stay out their way, but try to give a hand here and there, and eventually, I was working on the line, at a very young age. I knew how to do a lot of shit, man, and I just always loved food. I never went to culinary school. I would love to, but I just can't find the time.
Yeah.
But I just love to cook, man. I like to serve, but I want to say I feel like I like to make people feel happy, feel like at home. I like to I like good reactions out of people. So I always try my best to put all my love and passion into every dish I make, and
what draws you more? Is it the fire of the kitchen, the pressure? Is it the competitiveness, or is it the perfectionist in you, the artist, or is it just when you make a dish, just watching a person, his face?
It's the reaction. It's not about competition for me ever. I think that, the whole point of being a chef is to be able to take things and recreate them. I don't think there's a wrong way to cook something. There's certain things are wrong. Like if you overcook shrimp, it'll be rubbery, for example.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's a wrong way to make any food. I think anyone could take something and make their own spin off, and if it tastes fucking good, it tastes fucking good, man. It's definitely not the competitiveness. I'm driven by other people when they do good things. It makes me happy and motivates me. I've been working with people that I look up to, like I was mentioning to you before we started, Chef Kelvin, how I met him a few months ago, and it's now we're good friends. We're working together, doing shows together. I believe in real good energy, real energy. I really believe that. When you share the same passion for one thing, all the other shit, it doesn't matter. We're all capable of doing great things, and we can do awesome things, and my greatness should not dim yours. I mean,
we're here, humans, we're here to uplift each other, and
exactly.
Everybody has that light that shines on their own. It's you creating food, or it's me by sharing my fitness journey, and everybody has passions,
which is amazing. So you said you were 300 pounds.
I was first 314 pounds, and the second time I got up to 345. So I lost over 250 pounds altogether.
That's amazing, bro. And that's just get off your fucking ass and do it.
Just do it, man. It's I love one of my most favorite things in the morning is getting up getting my bike, getting to the job, and before I start anything, I go look at your stories.
Get out of here.
You up at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
You're up at 5 a.m. You're already shooting the world with this machine gun of positive energy, and just uplifting people. And if you're lazy, get up your ass and do this and do that, because nobody at the end of the day, nobody's gonna do it for you.
And nobody gives a fuck.
Nobody gives a fuck. That's the big thing about
that's really what it is. That's the biggest thing, because people are so quick to like just now. But I was sitting in the car before I came in here, and somebody tagged me on one of my videos, and we got featured by some page that has over 3 million followers. And so I find it amusing. Like, I go through the comments, like the first 120 comments. Like, I just scroll like really fast, and the amount of negative shit that people have to say about certain things are just like, it amuses me. And then you go into their page and they have 6 posts and 92 followers. And there's not a real picture of their face, of what they look like. And it's so sad how like so many people, they actually take time out of their life to hide behind the screen and go and talk shit on somebody else's page because of whatever personal battle that they're dealing with, and somehow that either comforts them, and that's the sad part, that it either comforts them or it makes them like what pisses me off is that it's taking time, legit time, away from their day where they can actually do something positive, to fucking get over whatever it is that they're battling with, and they don't have to like transmit any type of hate. I don't believe in hate, bro. Like, no. Like, I'm the type of person, I shoot you straight to your face. I tell you what I need to tell you. If I don't like you, or if our energies are not aligned, I just simply and only and strictly dedicate time to the things that are important in my life, because I just have no other choice, bro. Like, I don't have a life. I sleep fucking 4 to 6 hours a day every day. I work at a restaurant. I do private events. Like, I get home at 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. My kids are up at 6 in the morning, 6:30, no matter what. So it's like, if I get home at 3 in the morning one day, I'm only getting 2 or 3 hours of sleep, regardless of anything. So it's, it's all like your priorities. What are you doing? What are you doing with your time? That's it. We're all capable of doing anything. It's just like, what are you dedicating your time to?
And there's this internet trolls, man. There's people that sit back on a couch and they have their own personal demons, that they don't want to deal with these demons, and they just want to pour it out on someone else. When I saw you in the New York City wine event, and I seen you there, I was like, it was a win for me, seeing this guy that I followed you 8 months ago, and you doing big things and all, and for some reason I go and click on comments. I start reading on this
amazing
metal spatula. That's nonsense. It's just plain nonsense of people like, bro, just focus on this amazing cheese sauce that is being poured to.
It's all we had. We were in a fucking Tommy Hilfiger store. We weren't in a fucking kitchen, bro. We did magic with what we had.
It's ridiculous.
And people have no idea. They don't know even the setting of where you're in, and they have to talk shit. But it's amusing to me, honestly.
It's amusing, but it's like you say, it comes back to time. You basically don't have time to focus on negative energy. It's just you going, always keep going and going, and always you surround yourself with positive energy, and it just goes from there, and it's amazing. You tell all of us, because including me, because that I look up to you, and
that's amazing. But I'm extremely flattered by that, because I'm really, really, really bad at accepting compliments. Like, it's so bad. Like, when people tell me good things like that, like, I almost don't know what to say or how to react to it. So I'm extremely like wow about that. Like, thank you, because bro, I'm just a fucking human being, and I make so many mistakes on a daily basis too. Like, I'm growing and I'm learning as I'm doing myself. It's just that you can't communicate, you can't transmit like the negative energy. You can share the struggle, but you shouldn't elevate it. I think that is more about like okay, tomorrow we get to do this again, and we get to do it better than we did today. You know, that's it. So I thank you for that, bro. I really like it.
So going back to the kitchen, the growing up, the always being in the kitchen, this work ethic that you bring to your everyday life, where do you find it? What motivates you? Because
failure.
Let's.
I'll tell you my life story in 30 seconds. Well, I always say 30 seconds, but it's really never like that. Bro, I've always loved to make people happy. That's just what it is. Like I used to be, I'm still a musician because I don't think you ever stop being a musician. But like as I was growing up, as working in the restaurant, I was like a bachatero, like legit. Like I was like tocando fiesta and all of that on the weekends. I've always loved music, and that was like my first love, and it still is. But that's all I did for a long time. Like I was working in the restaurant, I was playing in clubs, you know, like bachata and típico and stuff like that, like at a very young age, and I've always loved that. And when I graduated high school, I started working at another restaurant with one of my uncles, and around the same time my father purchased a supermarket in East New York in Brooklyn, and he had a partner, and the partner that he had was like a second cousin of mine, and I was going to college. I was I was doing my music thing, so I was like up all night. I was up early, so I've always been like a hustler. I was always moving, and I would go work in the store in the afternoon and close the store. Okay. So, because my dad was like retired, he's like, look, this is an investment, and you guys are gonna run the store, and that's it. And it was like one of those things where like, you have to go to college. You have to, like, I don't care what you do with your life, you gotta give me a diploma. And so that was like the one requirement that I had to like live rent free.
By the way, this is the biggest requirement of a Spanish kid to
the culture.
The Dominican that came from from the island, and it's like, hey, you can do anything, but we need that diploma.
Yeah. So I was basically for years just doing everything to make other people happy, and when I was 17 years old, I was working at the store, and one day I see this guy come in to load an ATM machine, a white guy in a suit driving a black Mercedes in the hood, like East New York. We're talking 13 years ago. Que era malísimo por aquí, tú sabes. Honestly, my first day that I went to the store is real shit. Like, I heard some gunshots outside, and people were walking out of the store. Like, they were walking out of the store like nothing happened. And this is little 12-year-old kid packing bags that he looked at me. He was like, "Hey, you what are you concerned about?" He's like, "This is good now. It's good because the cops are coming now." He's like, "When it's quiet around here, you gotta watch your back. You gotta move quick. But like when you hear gunshots, it's okay. You go outside. Go ahead. Let's go see what happens." And I was like, "Holy shit!" So it's a tough neighborhood. I see this white guy come in, puts money in this ATM machine, and he leaves. And he's wearing a suit. And I tell my dad's partner, I say, "Yo, man, like this guy." How much money do they pay you guys to have that machine there or to give you that service? And he said, "Oh, we get like about $700 a month." 13 years ago, $700 a month it's a lot more money than $700 today. I want to say almost double, right? So think about it today as like a good $1,500 check, which almost pays your rent. I'm like, damn, your rent, like let's say. Yeah. Or at least helps you, with something, because, New York is fucking expensive. That's the thing, there's someone listening and they're like from fucking Kansas or somewhere else,
My brother's in Kansas.
Bro, I know people in other states that pay their mortgages with like $700.
Well, I paid a whole house in PA when I left for $750.
A month, right?
A month.
Yeah,
so whole house, 3 floors.
Yeah, but in New York, fucking $1,500 won't get you a fucking 1-bedroom, bro. Like in a bad neighborhood. So it's like, $1,500, but still, I felt like it was a substantial amount of money, and I was like, let's figure out how we can get into this business, because back then there weren't many ATMs. I don't know if people remember. I mean,
yeah.
But
exclusively stores, businesses.
Yeah.
It wasn't as big. Yeah.
So the people, it turns out that the people who were doing our credit card processing at the store, the people who would process our payments for the debit cards and credit cards who were swiping at the store, they were already in that business. So they were like, we contacted them and they said like, yeah, look, if you can pick up a location where you can put it in, find if your uncles or whoever has bodegas, just talk to them, be like, hey, let me put in a machine here. The machine charges $175. Is a convenience to the customer to withdraw cash if they need it, to spend it at your store, and we'll give you a cut out of that. And we did that, and we took a loan that my dad's partner and I became partners, and we got a loan.
Just keep saying.
Yeah, we got a loan and we started this business. We got a $75,000 loan. We had like 15 ATM machines all over the city, and then that company kept growing. And 2 years in, this guy fucking disappears. He left me in debt for over $120,000. I was 19 years old. I was in the hole for $120,000. My dad was in the hole in the store for almost $1 million.
Wow.
And we literally were like left with nothing, to even operate the business. And we were considering selling everything, but even if we did sell everything, we weren't even gonna like cover all our expenses.
Yeah.
So I basically dropped out of school, and I did everything that I could to help my dad get out of that hole that he was in. And for years I was fucking depressed. I was fucking fat. Like I was like sad. I was unhappy. Like, dude, like I stopped playing music because like I just couldn't anymore, because my whole life was just like, I gotta get out of this hole now.
Yeah.
And like it was the worst years of my life, but it taught me everything. Where like I'm a totally different person today. Like I feel like if you could put on this table right now like fucking all the money in the world, or give me the opportunity to go back to when I was 19 years old, knowing half of the shit that I know now, bro, I would go back in a second.
Yeah.
I would go back instantly, because it's just like the joy of life and the struggle. Like, dude, how amazing it is that like it's like all it takes to make something happen is to make a decision and actually fucking stick with it. Yeah, the thing is that people say like, oh, I'm gonna go out and die, I'm gonna start on Monday, and they never fucking start.
They never start.
Like, just do it now. Like, you lost 200 pounds.
Yeah.
What if you what if you didn't? Like, what if you didn't do that? Like, you God forbid you would be like physically unhealthy, like.
I was physically unhealthy. There's a joke that one of my girlfriends tells me. Like, I was going from the basement to the attic, and I literally was dying. I couldn't catch my breath. I was like, oh man. And he was like, bro, I saw you in this picture. I seen you in this picture, and you was literally one chicken nugget away from dying. It's a joke, man. I laugh at it now, but when it comes down to health and to making the decision, I was literally one chicken nugget away from getting out of here, But it's taking the decision, and people take failure as something bad, and they fail at something once, and they, like I talk about in my,
they're afraid to start again.
They're afraid to start again, but they don't know those are just files that you using.
So fucking battle wounds, man. Battle wounds are fucking sexy, bro.
It's data.
Yeah, you need that shit.
On in life.
Of course. What are you gonna do the first time like that? You're in the real world. You know what I'm saying? You're out of high school or out of college, and you're working at a place where like you need to shine. You need to be better than other people. You need to grow. You what do you think is gonna happen? That people are gonna just accept you like oh, you're here now to do better than me, and I'm just supposed to treat you like perfectly fine. No, that doesn't work that way, bro. Like people are gonna wanna make you earn your way, man. They're gonna.
How many times it took you to perfect your famous pizza?
A bunch of times, more times than like I even actually put it out there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like. And that's not even like something that I'm like, oh my god. That's
but still, people find it big, but how many times the puppy had to fail? How many times you have to fail?
I fail every day, man.
Yeah, it's
I fail every day. Anytime that that you know, that someone has to like point out to me something, you know, that like, oh, you know, like, hey, you know, you could have done this, you know, or look, you forgot that, or, you know, that's a failure. You know, those are small failures in life. Carelessness is a failure.
Yeah.
You know, people don't see that, but, you know, you have to be hard on yourself to be good at something. You know, you have to, you know, be accountable for every little thing. You know, like, you know, there are times that, you know, your kids, you know, drive you crazy, and you know, and you react in a way that you don't feel proud of in the moment. You're like, fuck, you know, like, you know, that's a failure for me. You know, like, to me, being a good father is like I probably like the number one priority in my life. I love my fucking kids to like with my entire life. So it's like, you know, I feel like the only responsibility like of just like making sure that my boys are way much better men than me, better than me, bigger than me, smarter than me. Like, just my life right now, my goal is to like just be able to create that possibility for them, where like, you know, that's it. And in doing that, I'm just like holding myself accountable every day, more and more, trying to be better, more and more, just try to be bigger and better and smarter, and just continue to grow, because that growth and that energy and that positivity and that love and that passion is gonna transmit to them. You know, like, I want them to grow up knowing that like this isn't about like what other people think about you or what. No, this is about like, what do you want? What do you want, and what do you have to do to get there? And it's like, start working now. The faster you start working at something, the better. Because what do you think, that LeBron James started shooting a basketball when he was 12 years old or 14 years old? No, I'm pretty sure when he was fucking 5-6 years old, he's fucking like, you know, playing basketball or playing with a basketball. You know, like I don't think people that are destined for greatness, you know, are, you know, just pick up something one day and that tomorrow there's like, you know, that people think that people have that idea of success like that it's like an overnight thing, and I'm not even a successful person. I'm just not. Like, people think because you got a couple followers on Instagram that you're like that you live a good life.
That's the new wave of success to people. You know, they think just let me make it here and let me see if I can make it, but you actually have to stick to it. You have to post every day. You have to show content. You have to, you know, go out of your way.
You know how hard it is that like, well, you know what's the hardest part about like keeping up with like, you know, like a good Instagram account? I'll tell you right now. For me personally, the content is everything. So if I don't have pictures or videos of my work, I can't really communicate it to anyone.
And you don't have a manager or like assistant.
And look at the irony in this is the fact that on the days that are the fucking busiest in the restaurant, I mean, 100 fucking beautiful plates come out of the kitchen, and you're so busy that you don't have the chance to actually get a nice shot. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's fucking hilarious because it's like, you know, sometimes people think like, coño, este tigre está callado, like, you know, like, no está nada. Like, no, nigga, I'm fucking working. When I'm quiet, when I'm not at my stories every day like that, like consistently, I'm either like really tired, I'm burned out, I'm tired, I don't really fucking feel like talking to anyone, I'm probably having like a hard day, or I'm just fucking busy, bro. Like, but when I do speak, like, and people say like, oh, you're so positive, that you're so this, or you're so that. Actually, what I'm really doing is that I'm talking to myself. Like, whatever I just went through yesterday, I learned from it today, and I'm like, you know, I go on IG and I'm just like, hey guys, good morning. You know what? Don't let shit like this get to you. Go have a fucking beautiful day. Smile right now. If you're having a shitty day, if it's raining, smile. If it's snowing, smile, because motherfucker, you're alive. Let's go. Like, let's do this. Like, you know, like, that's it. I'm talking to myself. I'm looking in the mirror and I'm just like, because I want to communicate, I want to transmit like the things that I'm learning and the things that I'm, experiencing. I want to share that with people, because if it can help someone, believe that they're capable of, doing something bigger and better than what they're doing, then bro, that's better for the world. That's better for my fucking kids, because that means that you're going to raise good kids too, and then the world that my kids are gonna live in when they're my age, is gonna be populated by the shit that you create.
Yeah.
So let's create good shit together, everyone, like collectively, like bro, like
just stop the hate.
Why not?
Together, and just be more positive. And I thought this podcast was gonna be about food, man, but
it's about life.
It's about
food
life.
is life, bro.
Food is life, and when you serve food, when you create something, when the artist comes out of Papi, what's the feeling? Take me through when you're creating a dish for someone.
Alright, I'll tell you one of the funniest stories, bro. We did in February. I had 600 followers.
Yeah.
And we're in November. I'm like at 20, almost like 22,000 already. I think I was like 21.9 like this morning. All in less than a year. I only post shit about my pictures, like my posts. In my stories, I try to share a little bit of like everything, like sometimes you may see my kids in there, sometimes you may see,
Beautiful kids, by the way.
Thank you, man. I love those kids. And I feel like I just try to be as open, as transparent as I can. And to be honest with you, when I create something, I feel enamored by the idea, like of how it came about. So one of our first dishes that we started like really promoting, that like when we first started the whole Papi's brand, was this dish called La Vainita.
Okay.
And it's basically a fried plantain cup, like it's a little mofonguito, and we fill it up with either shrimp or chicken or steak, and we put like guacamole on it and like Papi. So it's an amazing dish. It has cheese. It's just like something as sweet, as savory, as crunchy, it's just delicious. We didn't know what to call it. I actually did it for an event that I was catering for these big time foodies on IG, Devour Power. Like, I love those guys. I was following them for years, and I reached out to them, and they were celebrating their 500K party, and they invited me to bring some food, and I literally like created that dish like overnight. Like, I just started thinking like, what can I do? Like I wanted to do something cute, like like bite-sized sort of, and I was making this dish like 2 hours before I had to be at that event, and like I'm giving the shape to the plátano and all of that, and people kept coming in the kitchen, and as I'm plating them in my to-go things, motherfuckers were grabbing it and like tasting it and I'm like, yo, that shit, cuesta trabajo hacerlo, like, like to give it. So I was like, okay, you have one or two, but then people were like, they were just grabbing at it like, yo, this is so fucking good, this is delicious. And I was like, yo, that's all. Like, I was so mad, like leave it alone, like, come on, I gotta go, I'm late, these shits are hard to make. And they're like, yo, pero qué esta vaina, loco, esta vaina está buenísima. Like, yo, but what are you gonna call this? And then everybody's like, sí, loco, esa vaina está buena. Sí, mierda, loco, qué vaina que está. And like, loco, what are you gonna call this? I'm like, esa vaina, así mismo, la vainita. Like, quítate de ahí, vámonos, I gotta go.
Yeah.
And then everybody was like, yo, that's it right there, la vainita, yo, that's it, that's what you should call this. And I was just like,
whatever.
But and then it became like one of those, the first dishes where like people were literally like coming from Corona, Queens. Bro, I remember like in the very, very beginning, like this couple that came from Elmhurst, Queens, paid a Uber, probably like a $50 ride to go to my spot, order the fucking vainitas. They ate them there. They ate like one of those Philly cheesesteaks or whatever that we were making, and then they took another Uber back. So they went there, spent like $40. They probably spent like $20 or $30 on my store, and another fucking $40 to get back. I'm like, wow, I was super flattered that people are spending over $150 just to go and try like something. Like, people took drives from upstate New York,
Incredible.
like from the Bronx, from so many, like, and I was like amazed at how crazy like Instagram works, like how people would see a picture and they're like, I need that shit looks delicious, and they would actually travel to go get it. I was like, I have to do more of whatever it is I'm doing.
The power of social media, my friend.
And it just made me feel like super, like, it's hard to explain the feeling that you feel when you know that someone went out of their way, took time out of their life to go eat something that you created, or to go see something or experience something that you worked on. It just, that's what motivates me.
Yeah.
That's what gives me more energy, like to go out and tomorrow create another dish, and then to do more events and to treat people and to, like, you know, talk more, communicate, because this is really how I am, bro. Like, this is really me. Like, a lot of people that actually know me, they know that, like, you know, what I say is, you know, what it is. I'm not like, this is, you know, I'm not a fucking speaker. I'm not a motivational guy. Like, people tell me, like, this girl came to the restaurant the other day. She was like, yo, you're like a motivational speaker. You're like I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm just like, you know, I ain't with the shit. Like, bro, like, I tell you what it is. Like, you see, like, my shopping cart little obsession thing?
Yeah.
That's just the way that I, like, see something, like, and relate it, like, to, like, the way that life works. You know, it's just, this is how I really am, bro. And I just we need to share, like, more of this, bro. Like, people, more like-minded people have to just connect more and distribute, like, real information and to share the real struggles, bro, because
that's what we do in here, you know. In Rompiendo, we try to share as much as possible and share the positive energy and have people like you know, that's contributing so much, not only in social media but in everyday life, that you giving food away. If you see somebody, you know, you see they're having a bad day, you know, you go up to them, you know, do your best to make them have a better day, because at the end of the day we all have bad days. But it doesn't take nothing out of your time. You see somebody having a bad day, you just say good morning.
Of course, man.
And I could have you talking the whole night here, because
I don't shut up, man. This is the worst.
And you have some good stuff, but I know you have your kids that are waiting for you at home. So on this ending thought, or on this ending message for the listeners and the people that are gonna watch this, what is your message to the world, to the people? What do you want to tell them?
What do I want to tell the people? Oh, man, I think, fuck, just, like, dude, just love the hardest you can. Just love the hardest you can, bro. Like, love is so powerful. Like, it literally overcomes anything and anything, bro. Like, in a personal relationship, in a work related relationship, in education relation, whatever relationship it is that you have, with whatever passion, whatever love you have, like, just do it the hardest and the best you can. Like, life is way too short. Like, I lost a cousin last weekend, bro, and we were like brothers, man. And it's just, he was 28 years old, bro, and it's just like he had so much to do, man. Yes, like, I'm almost getting, like, emotional, bro. Like, I'm not gonna do it. But it's just, life is too short. Yeah, man. So love the hardest, man, and work the hardest you can, you know, and you can be great, man. We can all do good things, man.
You have it.
That's it.
There you have it, folks. How can we find you on social media?
Well, basically, I'm most active on Instagram. So, and Instagram is NYC_Papis, Papis. So NYC_Papis, Papis. And that's mainly my main Instagram. I mean, my main like social media handle. I should be on Facebook. I should be on other places, but it's just so hard to
private events, catering.
Yeah, private events and catering. I'm a chef at Caoba Brooklyn Bistro in Brooklyn, New York. That's the home of the Dominican pizza right now, the original Dominican pizza. And we're there, and I answer all my DMs on IG, like literally every single one. Like I love connecting with people, and yeah, you can find me, man. I'm pretty easy to find.
There you go, people. Young and powerful. Chef Papi. Yo, bro, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you, man. It was, bro. I'm sorry, I got my fingers a little messed up.
This guy comes with a fucked up finger here. I'm trying to shake his hand, but he's all messed up there. But thank you for coming. It's a pleasure for having you here at Rompiendo Podcast. And guys, we'll see you next time. Papis, thank you very much.
Thank
It's been
you,
a pleasure,
man. All the pleasure was mine, man. Thank you.